We can also adjust the width of this to fit a certain number of pixels. I'm going to do about 75, just to extend it out a little bit. You can even go up to about 100. Now I'm going to switch to blocks view, and I'm going to code in the blocks to handle the change of that slider. So slider line width, whenever it moves, which is called position change, it's the only event handler that is available for the slider. So when that position is changed, we want it to get whatever value it is on the slider, the number between 1 and 24, or whatever values you chose, and set the canvas line width. So we're going to say canvas line width, set canvas line width to get thumb position. So wherever they ended up on the slider, that's called the thumb position. Now let's go back. You can test this and make sure your lines are working. And then go back to Designer. We're going to add buttons to change the color for the lines, because right now we only have the option to color in black. So the first thing we're going to need to do is grab a layout, and we'll grab another horizontal arrangement and put it down here. And we will then put some buttons into this arrangement. I'm going to start with 3, and then I will add more as I need to. So we're going to rename these buttons so that they are the color that we're going to have them represent. We're also going to change the color of the button so that it looks the same as the color that we're choosing. So, first button, I'm going to rename this button red. I'm going to change the text to the letter R. And I'm going to change the background color, and you can choose the red that's here, or you can go to custom and choose the color by entering in a color. So if you start entering in colors, it'll start to show up like this, where you can drag it around and choose one. I'm just going to use the default red that is available. Then I'm going to go to the second button, and I'm going to rename it for the next color. I'm going to do the rainbow. You do not have to. You can choose whatever colors you want. Maybe you want to do a bunch of different pinks or purples. That's up to you. I just want to see that you can put buttons on and code them to change the color of a line. I'm going to do an O for orange in the text field. And I'm going to change the background to orange. Now, I don't really like this orange, so I could go in and custom change it to a darker orange. I like that a little bit better. I'm going to rename button 3 to yellow. And change the text to the letter Y for yellow. And change the background to yellow. I'm going to pull the take picture in here as well, and then I'm going to just drag these around a little bit. I want to take this horizontal arrangement and put it at the top. So the take picture's at top, and then I'll start adding colors in. We'll end up putting some colors down here too, so that we don't have to add too many arrangements. That's up to you if you want to pull in some more horizontal arrangements to make the buttons a little bit bigger or spread them out a little bit more. I'm going to grab a couple more now. We have green. I'm going to pull 2 down into here for right now. So I'm going to go back to this and rename this one green and change that color to green. Again, if I don't like that green, I can go to custom and find a green that I do like. There we go. Change to that green. And and change the text to the letter G. And I'll pull this next button up and rename it blue. Now with a color like blue that's really dark, one of the things that you can do is either take the color down and make it a little bit lighter, or go down to the text color and change it to a different color. So if I make the text white, the B is going to stick out a little bit more in the black. I'm going to pull up this last button here. You could do pink or purple, that's up to you. I'm going to do purple this time. And go to default and custom, because you'll see purple's not a choice. And make up some numbers here. There we go. There we go. Grab some purple. Perfect. P for purple. And then I'm going to do a black, gray, and a white. So 3 more buttons. Let's take the first 2 to begin with. Rename black. That way if I switch to a color I can go back to black if I want to. I'm going to change the background color to black and then change this to B for black and the text color to white. And then this one I'm going to rename to gray and G. And then you can choose, I'm going to change that text color to white again because I did a very dark gray. And I'm going to put one last button in here. You could put more in, like I said, if you would like to. Maybe you need a pink in there. Background white, letter W, text color default is fine. All right. Now, there's some things we can change about buttons. You can change a button's font. There is sans serif, which is this. It has no, well, I'll just show you serif so you can see the difference. So serif is when it has all of these fancy curly lines in your text. Sans serif is font that does not have those. And then monospace is like a typewriter font, is what I like to call it. All of the characters take up the exact same height and width, regardless of what character they are. I'm just going to leave mine at sans serif. I can also change the shape of my button. So you can do a rounded button. So you can see that button turned into a rounded one now. You can also do an oval. The default was the rectangle. I'm going to leave mine B with the default because I do not mind the rounded look that it has, or the rectangle rather. And I am going to do one last thing. I want to center all of this because I can see that it's off center. So I'm going to click on screen 1 and align everything center so that it lines up pretty. I'm kind of picky about that. Now we're going to switch to the blocks, and to code the colors, I'm just going to show you 2 and then you can do the rest yourself. They're all exactly the same. You're going to go when button red is clicked, so go all the way up to find the very first. This is when button red clicked. You want to set the canvas paint color. So canvas paint color to, and there's a built-in set of blocks here called colors. So if you go to a color and pull it over, great. If you don't see the color that you want, you just click on it and you can choose a different shade. So pretty handy. So for example, I changed my orange one a little bit. So we'll go when button orange clicked. I'm going to right click and duplicate. You see that again? I right clicked on this green block and duplicated it so I didn't have to go look for it again. And I want to change that to like a true orange, like that. So you do that for each of the color buttons. So do all your color buttons, pause this, test it, and then come back. Now the final thing we need to be able to do is to erase what we've drawn on the screen. And we're going to use something called the accelerometer to do this. So we're going to go to Designer, and we need to pull over one more component. It's in the sensor drawer. It's called the accelerometer. It checks to see if the tablet is being moved at all. Think of like an airplane, how they move in the sky, like tilt a little bit, or forward or back, right, left, or if it's being shook. You can also check that. So think of like an Etch-a-Sketch. If you ever played with one of those as a child, when you shake an Etch-a-Sketch, it erases. So we're going to do that same kind of thought here, shake to erase. So pull the accelerometer over and go back to blocks. And we want to say accelerometer sensor shaking. So we want to know when it's been shook. When that happens, we want to clear the canvas, and we need to set the background image of the canvas to white, because we don't want, otherwise it won't get rid of the picture. So you'll have to just trust me on that. You could try it first if you want to see what happens with just this canvas clear. It'll clear only what you've drawn, dragging your finger on the screen. To truly get it to erase, you need to set the background image to the color white, or black if your background's black. That is all of the code to make this work. You should test it, and then you can go in if you have time, if you get done with this, and add some more stuff to it. Maybe you want to add a button for erasing, or some other feature, maybe a built-in picture that you could choose. So take a look at that and decide what it is that you want to do. You will have time to work on this on Friday when I get back, especially if I notice that a lot of students were not able to finish this during the class time. I know this is a big app to build, and without me here, that was probably quite difficult. So I hope you have a good day, and I will see you tomorrow.